Hi Aquarius, welcome to your weekly week ahead message. So we're going to do just quick messages for each sign because I promised I was going to try to get these messages out. Like the video and comment, okay? It does make a difference if you comment and like the video, and if you do, I will do more Aquarius videos. Okay, so this week, okay, we do have, you're similar to Gemini energy with the Queen of Swords reversed and the Temperance. Maybe you've got Gemini in your chart, so if you have, I would pay more attention because that's unique. Some of you could be dealing with a Gemini, and maybe this person is not in the best place right now, and they could be projecting onto you. This could also be your energy, and you've got Gemini. I'm getting anxiety for Aquarius, so some of you, I think you're dealing with a person who's no contact, and I feel like this person, yes, it's definitely love. So maybe you're dealing with a Gemini because this is Gemini as well, but there's also Sagittarius. But what I'm getting here is someone's a head case. This could also be a relationship, but I feel like this person, they're all over the place. And obviously sometimes we love people, but if that person's not acting correct or the kind of unstable, that affects us. So Aquarius this week need to be careful with other people's energy affecting you, you know? Maybe you love this person, maybe you care for this person, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member, but you can't let them project onto you. The other side of the coin is the Queen of Swords reversed with the Temperance card reversed, could be your energy. So some of you are not being honest with yourself when it comes to a love relationship, I would say. Okay? I feel like you're dealing with someone who's dealing with multiple women. Some of you could be with somebody who's also with somebody else. So the Nine of Swords came out, and in the Nine of Swords, this person's got a cockroach. So maybe some of you are just dealing with a cockroach, you know, you're dealing with a very dirty person. Yeah, Three of Swords. If you're cross-watching and you're dealing with an Aquarius, I'm getting very selfish energy here. So I'm getting someone who, they might cause problems for people and they don't really care. Like this is the type of person who, how they affect other people doesn't bother them. It's all about them, so to speak. Seven of Pentacles. I'm getting a relationship, so it could also be this week that people are busy. You know, this could just be burnout. It could be work is really messing with your head. Seven of Pentacles can just be having a lot of work, having a lot of clients, not getting enough sleep. Maybe Temperance reversed with the Queen of Swords reversed is to pay attention to balance and your well-being. So what I would say is maybe some of you are dealing with burnout. Maybe some of you are dealing with burnout, and you're just feeling really tired and you need to focus on your health. Okay? So let's look into this relationship for Aquarius. What is this relationship? Yeah, again, the Lover's card. So I'm going to say for the Aquarius woman, you seem confused by this man's intentions. Some of you, this person could be trying to come back because it's the Mercury retrograde, so people tend to want to come back. But you seem to be confused with a masculine. If you're cross-watching and this is an Aquarius who's acting all about themselves, what I'm getting is this person doesn't care. The Lover's card could be like a booty call, but they don't care, right? It's like Six of Pentacles is where one person benefits, the kind of superior. The other person's like a beggar. They're seen as less. So this can be begging for time, begging for energy. I would also say potentially a relationship is going to come to an end because maybe there's somebody else, or maybe someone just feels alone in that relationship. So the High Priestess is the single card. So this is where you're in a relationship, but you feel like you're on your own. And there's only so much a person can tolerate that. So I feel like some of you have stressed over this person or this relationship, or you've been going back and forth about what to do. Okay, what is the guidance message for Aquarius this week? The Four of Swords. So you're definitely being told burnout. This can be health concerns, so this can be barely getting enough sleep. Maybe you need to look at your job because sometimes we work like nights. Maybe you're a nurse or a doctor, and it's eventually it just catches up. The Four of Swords can be when it comes to a marriage or a relationship, it's distance. So it's like your partner comes back and he's there, but he's not there. Or she comes back and she's there, but she's not there. So there's two big things coming up: a relationship that needs review and rebalance. And some of you could just be dealing with a very, this is a very selfish person. Like, this person does not care. Like, they just use people, they just exploit people, they have no conscience. If you're cross-watching for an Aquarius, that's what you're dealing with. You're just dealing with someone who's got no conscience. Yes, they want access to you. Yes, they want to be able to exploit you, but they don't really care about you. So there needs to be honesty this week. There's a strong message for Aquarius around health. This is bed rest. This is work and life balance. Just looking after yourself, basically. Because you might find that you're coming down with the flu a lot, or you just feel drained and fatigued, and that's not normal. You know, that's not normal to be consistently like that. What else for Aquarius? Where is Aquarius's power this week, please? Ooh, the Chariot. So some of your power is in moving on. Okay, so the Chariot is about travel. Some of you might need to take some time off work if you can. So some of you, maybe you're thinking about ending something, and I do think it's good to sometimes reflect before we do so. But for me, the Chariot is about travel. Some of you, I feel like something is, remember, anxiety is alerting. So some of you could be in a country, or you could be in some kind of situation, and the anxiety is it's a warning to leave a city, to leave a country, because there's a lot going on in the world, for example. So the Chariot is travel. Okay. Okay, so your car is coming up here as well. So this can be somebody who's having problems with the car, or something like that. Judgment. I feel like some of you this week, you need to take a break for the sake of your health, and some of you need to take some kind of trip, because this trip is going to enable you to think about if you should end this marriage or end this relationship. That's what I'm getting. Look at this. So the Eight of Swords is like somebody who just basically, the mind is not in a good place. This could just be being overwhelmed by life. This can be where you're just stuck in a rut. It's work, you know, and it messes with us, because we're not meant to live like that. So I feel like a message this week is some of you need to just take some downtime, take some time for you. You're suffering with fatigue or burnout, and sometimes we're seeking answers in the place that's destroying us. So in other words, by leaving that place, by taking a little trip, by taking a weekend away, it gives us time to step away, and we're in a different environment, and we're in a different stimuli, and then we can reflect the death, because something's coming to an end. If you're cross-watching for Aquarius, you know, maybe you're just dealing with someone who's psychotic, maybe you're dealing with someone who's got issues. Not everyone can be fixed, not everyone can be healed. Some people are tone deaf. And I think tone deaf people are people who, they see no problem with the behaviour. If you call them on their behaviour, if you advise anything, they see no problem with themselves. That's tone deaf, right? So yeah, some of you who are cross-watching, be careful, because you could also be dealing with somebody who has got mental health issues. So you could be dealing with somebody who, maybe they've got bipolar disorder. I'm not saying what I agree with, what I don't agree with, but this is someone who's got kind of a complex personality. They're very switchable, they're very changeable, and it can be difficult to deal with people like that, because you never know where you stand with that person. 1 minute everything's fine, next minute we've got beef, like, with the, you know. And then we've got the Fool. But I think for Aquarius, for the individual Aquarius, something is making you feel trapped in life, and you need to step away from it, because there's different ways to live, there's other options, there's other jobs, there's other ways to live. So it could just be you're living a certain life, and it's just, it's not healthy, right? It's just not good for you. And by taking a step away, it gives you time to reflect. This can be about your own mental health as well. So this is what people do. They send themselves insane. They mess with themselves, you know, and then they end up in a crazy situation, or they end up unbalanced. So the message for you this week is look after yourself. You know what they say, don't kill yourself for a job that will replace you in a week. This is looking after yourself. Empress is taking yourself to a nice spa, taking yourself on a little weekend trip, buying yourself some new clothes or whatever, right? I do get for some of you Aquariuses, you might just be single, but I'm kind of getting someone who's just living in constant stresses. They're constantly going to the job, and they're constantly living in debt, and they're constantly living in stress. And that's not life, it's existence. So, and then we've got Temperance. I think as well, if you're cross-watching for an Aquarius, or you're an Aquarius, I'm getting that someone needs to work on themselves. So see the way you've got this sad face? This is a person who's got deep sadness. And before they can be connected to another human being, they need to heal. And that's it. And sometimes that's us. Sometimes we have issues and we have things we need to work on. And sometimes it's just the person that maybe we're trying to connect with. So some of you, maybe instead of judging this person, maybe see it as that this person just isn't ready for connection. And they need to focus on healing before they can be connected to another human being. You know? Because I think if we judge people too much, we end up in this trap of anger and resentment. Whereas if we look at them objectively, which is like, maybe this person just needs to be alone so they can work on themselves and heal, it changes the dynamic, it changes the energy. And maybe it's a case for some of you Aquariuses, that's what you need right now. You know? Because someone's got deep emotional sadness. It could also be some of you are feeling really hurt or betrayed by another person's actions. And if you're cross-watching and dealing with what some people would call narcissistical Aquarius, maybe you need to reframe. But you can always take your power back, right? So if people are toxic, if they're not a good force in our life, if they abuse us, if they don't treat us right, we can't change that person, but we can remove ourselves. We can remove access. Like, we've all got pain, we've all been wounded, we've all been betrayed, but you don't get a right to project your shit on me. No. And I don't think people quite realise that most of us open the door to abuse because we keep tolerating it. So you can step back and remove access from a healthy place. But I love this for you. I think this week it's about spend some money on yourself, give yourself a break, rebalance yourself, especially if you're just single and you've kind of got wrapped up in, you know, career goals and all this life shit that people get wrapped up in. Just remember your health, your peace of mind, your balance, because we do live in a time where a lot of the problems we're suffering from, that it's not mental health, it's nervous system. We're overstimulated, we're overpressured, and then we break. So some of you are being told there's a warning sign, there's red flags. Some of you, there's a warning sign or red flags around a person and how you feel around that person. Remove access, take a step back. It doesn't have to be forever. But this week for Aquarius, it's around, there's also another message around reflection. So this is basically, maybe something does have to end permanently. And maybe you need to take a step back and take some space so you can reflect in a different environment. And I think something's got warning signs all over it about how dangerous it is and how not good it is. And so some of you, this could be travelling to family or travelling to a safe space to rest and recuperate and think about what you're going to do next. But it's about health this week. It's about... I do think some of you are in something that's just torturous. It's not healthy. And you're going to have to take your power back. So like the video and comment if you want to see more Aquarius videos, because if I start seeing the numbers come up, I will make more of an effort. And let me know if this resonated in your story. I love doing Aquarius videos. They're awesome. And if you want to book a personal, you can just comment in the comments or look in the description box. I'll speak to you soon.